The world is once again being rocked by news of China's aggressive expansionist agenda, as reports have emerged suggesting that the country has set its sights on several neighboring territories. According to sources close to the Chinese government, plans are underway to launch a series of military invasions in the near future, with several countries at risk of being targeted. As tensions continue to rise, the international community is left wondering what steps can be taken to prevent what could be a major global conflict. China has a broad ambition to transform the world, and countries are listening. Xi Jinping is fiercely determined to challenge America's global dominance and establish China as the world leader. 1 year into his unprecedented third term, he's relentlessly pushing his vision for the world. Recently, he proudly declared China to be the only country capable of navigating the challenges of the 21st century. This was a remarkable moment at the Beijing summit, with Russian President Vladimir Putin, United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, and other dignitaries worldwide in attendance. It's clear that Xi Jinping and China are not afraid to take the lead on the global stage. Changes of the world, of our times, and historical significance are unfolding like never before. Xi told his audience at the Belt and Road Forum. China, he said, would make relentless efforts to achieve modernization for all countries and work to build a shared future for mankind. Xi Jinping's vision for China's role in the world encapsulates its determination to reshape an international system that it perceives as biased towards the US and its allies. Beijing views itself as a formidable rival to these countries. With its growing assertiveness and authoritarianism, it believes now is the opportune moment to shift the global balance of power in its favor. China is committed to ensuring its rise and rejecting any attempts to contain it. Over the past few months, Beijing has been tirelessly promoting its alternative model through various channels, including hefty policy documents, new global initiatives, speeches, diplomatic meetings, forums, and international gatherings to gain support worldwide. However, some experts and analysts are concerned that the success of this campaign could lead to a world where practices like censorship, heavy surveillance, and political repression, which are common in Beijing's iron-fisted and autocratic rule, become globally accepted. Hence, it is crucial to assess the potential consequences of adopting Beijing's model and ensure that any decision in this regard aligns with the values of democracy, freedom, and human rights. The rise of China has sparked a growing debate about America's position as a global leader. With political instability and foreign policy concerns at home, many are questioning whether the US is equipped to handle pressing issues like climate change, Ukraine's conflict, and the ongoing crisis in Gaza. Meanwhile, developing nations demand a more significant role in shaping the international system and have turned to China for economic and political support. Under President Xi's leadership, China's global infrastructure building initiative has cemented its status as a major player on the world stage. As the US faces increasing challenges to its global dominance, it's clear that a new era of international relations is upon us. A think tank claims China is prepared for a protracted conflict. China's proactive approach towards potential conflict in the Indo-Pacific region has raised fears and concerns among neighboring countries. Some experts worry that China's recent military and legal changes could lead to tensions and escalate the risk of conflict. There are also concerns that China's integration of military and civilian mobilization efforts could lead to a more militarized society and limit civil liberties. Despite China's claims of strategic thinking and commitment to national defense, some worry that these measures could be used to suppress political dissent or regional autonomy. The recent changes in Beijing's approach towards the Indo-Pacific region, as outlined by the defense analyst, are deeply concerning and have caused fear among many experts. The fact that Beijing is preparing for a prolonged conflict instead of a swift victory after a surprise attack indicates that they are willing to go to great lengths to achieve their goals. This, coupled with their close study of Russia's tactics in Ukraine, paints a grim picture of a potential long-term conflict scenario in the Indo-Pacific region. Understandably, people are deeply concerned about the implications of such a scenario and the need for strategic planning and preparation has never been more pressing. The Military Balance Report, published by a London-based think tank, warns of an era of insecurity as several global conflicts continue to escalate. The ongoing Hamas-Israel war in Gaza could potentially expand into a more significant conflict, while coup attempts have been reported in Niger and Gabon. Azerbaijan has retaken control of the Nagorno-Karabakh region, and China has been increasingly aggressive in the South China Sea and towards Taiwan. The report predicts that this year's global defense spending will exceed the $2.2 trillion set in 2023, representing a 9% increase from the previous year. It's no secret that China's rising defense budget has raised concerns and an uneasy feeling among its neighbors. The assertive actions of Beijing in the South China Sea and beyond have prompted similar military budget increases throughout the region, indicating a growing arms race. The substantial increase in Taiwan's spending by 24.2% and Japan's planned multi-year growth with a 10.5% increase in 2023 shows that these countries are taking their national security seriously. However, this trend of escalating military spending is alarming, and it is time for the international community to pay attention and take necessary steps toward global peace and stability. What could China target as their first attack? Given the escalating border tensions between China and India, many are speculating whether China might attempt to assert its regional dominance by invading India. While there have been no official statements from China, it's important to consider the potential risks to India's national security. In the event of a conventional attack, China could launch a massive cyber attack to disrupt vital Indian networks and hinder disaster relief programs. As such, it's crucial that India takes steps to bolster its cybersecurity and defense capabilities to protect its citizens and preserve its sovereignty. The Defense Minister of India, Rajnath Singh, urged the defense industry to innovate in futuristic technologies to make India a leader. He also said India's population needs to be converted from a wealth-consuming entity into a wealth-creating resource. The recent shooting wars have captivated the world's attention. Azerbaijan's victory over Armenia in 2020 and Russia's inability to conquer Ukraine after more than 450 days of fighting signify a significant shift in the way we view interstate warfare. India needs to be well prepared in two key areas: hardware and mindset. With the looming threat of a conventional Chinese attack, India must be ready to make quick decisions and take practical actions. However, the battle is not limited to conventional warfare. Cyber attacks are becoming increasingly common and can cripple Indian networks and disaster relief programs. Banning Chinese hardware like 5G networks may seem like a solution, but the real problem lies in their major systems and networks. They are the new vulnerabilities. They must replace them with secure and reliable alternatives to protect themselves from threats. Are tensions between China and Taiwan escalating? Here are the signs. In a world where tensions are already high due to Russia's recent advancements in Ukraine and the unstable situation in the Middle East, any further military conflict must be avoided at all costs. Unfortunately, China and the US might be headed towards a potential standoff over Taiwan, which could have severe consequences for the world. Both countries must prioritize diplomacy and peaceful negotiations to prevent further escalation of tensions. China's President Xi Jinping made a bold statement during his New Year's address, declaring that Taiwan would inevitably reunite with China. This announcement is pivotal, just days before Taiwan's national election on January 13th. The election outcome holds immense significance, as it will determine whether Taiwan will seek closer ties with Beijing or maintain its distance, with the current trends favoring a Taiwanese leader who seeks to keep Beijing at arm's length. How the future will unfold remains to be seen. It's important to monitor other critical indicators besides economic growth. China's military has undergone significant expansion and modernization in the last 5 years, giving them an edge with their advances in hypersonic missile technology, which the US hasn't yet deployed an equally capable counterpart. Additionally, the Chinese public's increasing perception of the US as an enemy, fueled by government propaganda since 2017, is a worrying trend. This sentiment is echoed by Chinese netizens, many of whom have a stronger sense of nationalism than even the government. Understanding these developments and their potential impact on the geopolitical landscape is crucial. Taiwan's foreign minister also reportedly expresses deep concerns as he prepares for a possible conflict with China in 2027. Speaking on LBC with Andrew Marr, Joseph Wu said, "We are taking the Chinese military threat very seriously. I think 2027 is the year that we need to be serious about." It has been reported by US intelligence that China's leader, Xi Jinping, has instructed the Chinese military to prepare for the annexation of Taiwan by 2027. China views Taiwan, an independent and democratic island, as a province in rebellion that must be reunited with the mainland. Xi has made it clear since his rise to power in 2012 that the Taiwan issue cannot be left to future generations. This development is a cause for concern and should be closely monitored in the interest of global stability. The US and China pose a significant danger. The current economic and technological competition between the US and China has been ongoing despite the 2023 Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit's efforts to ease tensions. The US and Chinese presidents' 4-hour conversation and agreement to resume military-to-military communications are steps in the right direction toward avoiding accidental military escalation. It is important to continue fostering communication and cooperation between the two nations to ensure a peaceful and stable future. President Biden's recent actions suggest he may be willing to adjust his hardline policies toward China's technology. These policies have restricted US chip manufacturers from selling to China and pressured other countries to block the export of high-tech chip-making equipment. Such stringent measures have already led to ASML, a Dutch manufacturer, cancelling its shipments to China under pressure from Washington. As the race for economic and technological supremacy heats up, it may be worth considering a more nuanced approach to ensure continued innovation and growth. It is a troubling reality that China's territorial ambitions and aggressive stance towards its neighbors continue to create tensions in the region. Recent reports suggest that China is planning to invade certain countries soon, which is deeply concerning. The international community must unite to pressure China to respect its neighbors' sovereignty and resolve disputes peacefully through dialogue and diplomacy. Any act of aggression would destabilize the region and have broader implications for global peace and security. It is time for China to act responsibly and respect international law rather than seeking to assert its dominance through force.